Hey everybody, this is Belle. I hope you enjoyed my interview with actor Dominic Pace as we discussed the new Star Wars series for the Disney streaming service, The Mandalorian. Enjoy!
Hello.
Hey Dominic, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Obviously very excited and been a kind of a dreamlike state for the last 3 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well I'm really looking forward to be talking to you and thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love Minnesota too. I went a few years ago and I love the food there, the Juicy Lucy burgers and the cheese curds and the fried walleye. I love all that stuff.
Me too.
Yeah. Awesome.
I hope you come out here again.
Absolutely. I'm sure I will. They have me touring all over the country and the world with the Comic-Cons next year, just as one of the side characters. So hopefully I'll be up there in Minnesota as well.
I hope so too.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great to meet you.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
And, I'm going to one this weekend.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I love them. I've been a fan my whole life. That's why this is so exciting, because it's not even just about it's not necessarily an acting accolade. It's just the fact that I've been a Star Wars fan and I've been a comic book fan, my whole life in terms of going to the convention. So it's just been amazing.
Yeah, same here. Except I didn't start going to conventions until like 2015, and I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're so much fun, and people get into it so well. It's so exciting.
So I got a whole bunch of questions for you, and I'm really excited to take the time to talk with you about them.
Absolutely. So yeah, you let me know when you're recording, and you fire away.
We're recording right now.
Oh my God! Okay, absolutely. Okay, awesome. Go right ahead. Just sure.
All right. So how did you end up getting the role of the new bounty hunter in Mandalorian?
Yeah, this was a makeup test. So it's a featured side character, bounty hunter. This was from a simple makeup test, and I just had a very good relationship with the makeup artist that day. It was a 6 to 7 hour day within his chair. Most people, they might get claustrophobic. They might be a little bit panicky. They want to go on their phones. They may have like a little bit of an attitude. For me, I was just enjoying every moment. At that time, I did not know that it was Star Wars. I did not know that it would be a dream of a lifetime to be able to portray a one-of-a-kind feature bounty hunter. There was a code name for the project, and also at the same time, there was no guarantee that I was going to be able to, that they were going to hire me after that. But 2 weeks later, I ended up getting the phone call. And I still didn't know that it was attached to this project. And I ended up going to the wardrobe room first. That's where they wanted to get me fit. And then I went down to the makeup trailer. That's where they led me. And that's where I saw this gentleman, Brian Sipe, who originally tested different makeup options on me. And what I've been saying is I just don't, it's hard to know how you say thank you to someone. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sure you can relate. How you say thank you to somebody for giving you such a gift that most of us would even pay millions for. To have that opportunity to be a one-of-a-kind character in the Star Wars universe, even just featured, to me was just beyond words. It was like winning the lottery. So I was just so grateful to him. During the end of the filming, I gave him a nice greeting card and just told him, they do this every day, so it's like no big deal. But it's hard for them to understand sometimes, for us Star Wars fans, how much it means to us. So I was just so grateful for Brian over at Legacy Effects, and the rest is history.
How did you find out that the project was for Star Wars?
Yes, it was really a powerful moment there. All the doors were closed at the studio. Everything was like top secret. Every door had like a secret code name, and it was just very quiet. So I had no idea until they led me into the wardrobe room. There was an amazing costume designer by the name of Richard A. Pora. He had a few of his assistants with him. And any Star Wars fan will be able to recognize the artwork on the walls. But it wasn't until I go into the other room and I saw my name next to the words bounty hunter, and that's where my heart just started pounding. There were three wardrobe options for me, and two of them actually would have my face covered. It would be with a mask, which still would have been special, but nothing compared to what Brian did to me and the makeup work he did, which took 2 hours to create this really unique-looking bounty hunter there. So it was just amazing, and that's when I knew. Of course, we couldn't imagine like winning the lottery, in that regard as a Star Wars fan and not being able to tell everybody. Of course, I told my mom and my sister, and nothing was able to go on social media, of course. But now, once we were seen in the trailer, the cat's out of the bag. So what you're seeing right now is a year of excitement built up from obviously such a dream that, again, every Star Wars fan would dream of having there. So
it must have been hard to keep a secret like that.
Oh my God, it was the hardest thing ever. It's like, I mean, it's funny because, I've been on television numerous times throughout my career, and I've guest starred and co-starred. I even starred in a few films here and there. Mm-hmm. But for me, it just is an entirely different category just because this series has meant so much to me since I was a child. I've been a collector. I follow all the movies and even, the Clone Wars and Rebels. So it just was really magical to be a part of that, literally. And my hope, too, is not, people ask me, hey, is there a season 2 or, is your character going to extend and this and that? To be honest with you, what would be more of a gift to me is if other Star Wars fans get to have the same opportunity that I did. So even the makeup artist actually was sending me a few emails before season 2 began. And I didn't even pursue it that much because for me, honestly, it's like just touching the gold one time. I can't tell you how much it means to me.
I look forward to seeing your work and the makeup that is shown on the show. I'm pretty excited to watch it next week. I'm over the moon about it. I know that The Mandalorian is going to be the very first thing I'm going to watch on Disney+.
Yes. First episode and then one more. I can't give it away, but just a couple there. But again, for me, it's just like hitting the lottery there, and it's just been absolutely priceless, the whole entire experience.
What was it like on your first day of set?
Well, I'll tell you, here's some more exciting Star Wars fan news. There are 2 other amazing gifts for any Star Wars fan. Number one, after I was dressed in my whole garb and went through the whole makeup process, which took a couple hours, I was invited to the prop table. Now, there's a couple stories with Ewan McGregor and Samuel Jackson. When they had episode 1, they got to pick out what lightsaber they wanted to use,
You're kidding.
So imagine any Star Wars fan having the option to whether, for Jedis or Sith to choose a lightsaber, but for a bounty hunter to pick your own blaster. So I had that opportunity before I got to set there were about maybe 20 different blasters, and I picked the biggest one. It was just sort of a semi-automatic. Within the imaginary world, I think blasters are so cool. It was a semi-automatic with a paintball canister in the back, and it had a curved dagger down by the mag, and it was just this cool, heavy piece. Oh my God, it must have weighed about 8 to 10 pounds. I was carrying around for 15, 16 hours a day, but I didn't feel a bit of the pain because, again, it was just such a joy to be able to play this out as a Star Wars fan. So then, to add to it, there's sort of this cantina that you see in the trailer, and you see where I'm featured. Well, when I walked in, it was none other than George Lucas himself that was there that day, talking with Jon Favreau, with Kathleen Kennedy, with Dave Filoni, and obviously it was just the most magical thing to be amongst these legends and these gods of our beloved franchise. I didn't say anything. When you're at that level, you're just there to work. This is not playtime, unfortunately, where it's kind of a fan meet and greet. But at the same time, just to be amongst his presence, to hear Lucas talking with Favreau briefly about the Mandalorians, that alone was just a gift in and of itself. People asked me if I went up to him, and no, I didn't, but it was just an honor to be amongst his presence within his universe, which I thought was really, really special.
If you could meet with him in person, what would you say to him?
I think genuinely thank you, and I'm sorry if any fans have made him shy away from leading the series and continuing on the series. I was really heartbroken to hear. One of the things in terms of people who criticize the franchise, I don't necessarily see them as bad people. I actually support them in many ways because people are very passionate about Star Wars because for everybody, it means something very special. So in a way, ironically, it's a compliment. But the one thing that I would tell him is to embrace even the criticism sometimes because we love him so much. And everybody knows that there's no way that we could live without him. We are so appreciative of this amazing imaginary world that allows us all to escape in from time to time, and how grateful we are for his amazing mind.
And I agree with you there.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is it like to work with the cast and the crew?
Extremely professional. At this level, you can feel that you were part of something special. There's a female director. She's absolutely amazing, and she's she's raising in the ranks as we speak. She also, I think, is now going to be heading up the Kenobi series, but her name is Deborah Chow. And what a sweet, amazing professional woman. It was such a privilege to be directed by her briefly, again, just with this featured little part. But her, Filoni, Favreau, back in the day, you would hear a lot of stories of yelling and screaming on set. Sometimes you hear these old legendary stories of Michael Bay or James Cameron, and there's no fault to them. I mean, when you're dealing with a $100 million budget, people get very passionate. It's not that they're being mean. It's just they get passionate. But on this set, it was just such a pleasant feeling, a professional day in and day out amongst the entire cast and crew. And again, it was just an honor to be a small sliver of that.
What was your inspiration for the portrayal of your bounty hunter character?
I wouldn't say an inspiration in terms of a specific character, but as far as the circumstances that I was presented with in a few of the scenes was just to be completely unapologetic. As an actor, just to give you sort of an acting lesson 101, it's not that you would ever need to experience what it's like to hold somebody at gunpoint, or what it's like to be in a battle, or what it's like to be unapologetic in terms of wanting a bounty that might be, something very special or sacred. Maybe basically it's essentially kidnapping, but you can parallel that to other things in life. Maybe that person who cut you off the road in the highway was very mean to you, or maybe somebody said something really mean to your mom or to you one day, they bullied you.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you can keep that in your head as opposed to just, being inspired by any specific character. And when you start to build up sort of an angst and anger, all of a sudden that sort of depth overcomes your character to where, you kind of have this dark persona. So ultimately that was it. It was sort of not so much being inspired by a character, but it was just an overall feeling of vengeance and being angry and hateful. And I am able to connect with that. So
I feel the exact same way. When you mention like being cut off the road or someone being mean to you, I can relate to that because I'm on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. I was bullied pretty much my whole life, but I used my love for movies and TV shows, and it gives me strength to keep going.
Oh, God bless you, and we support you 110%.
Thank you.
It's again, I think we can all be in touch in one way or another with being angry, and that's the beautiful thing about acting is that you can be angry in a safe, sort of a safe environment, and you can play out these sort of, actions of rage, which is why, the art form to me has been so beautiful for the past 20 plus years, and to do it on every level, especially within the Star Wars universe, is just more than words could describe.
And speaking of the Star Wars universe, what do you love most about being a part of the Star Wars franchise?
Well, the fact that when I was a child, whether it was playing with an action figure or whether it was hearing the applause of everyone going crazy for Luke Skywalker when he saved the day in that amazing battle scene during the skiff, I hope that I'm able to be able to touch a child in that way, perhaps maybe not even on screen, with the brief screen time, but more importantly, maybe in real life to where they get to meet somebody from the Star Wars universe and I'm able to touch their lives in a positive way through this beautiful story that George Lucas has created. So for me, the most beautiful gift is just to be able to touch other people's lives in a positive way and to hopefully be a positive influence over the years to come at the conventions and charity events.
And who is your favorite Star Wars character that you play with or dress up and watch on the screen?
I always say it's a toss-up between two. I loved Han Solo because Harrison Ford, to me, just like we're empowering strong women these days, I love strong men as well. And he was just such a strong alpha male character. And to me, I was always able to relate to that, not to mention the charisma that he had and the connection and the love romance that he had with Leia. I thought that was so beautifully played out. As far as the Star Wars universe and the galaxy, it's not other than Boba Fett because he had the coolest outfit. To play with a figure that had a jetpack as a kid, I think was the coolest thing ever. And just his colors, and then not to mention the coolest little spaceship there, the Slave One, which is kind of so interesting the way that was shaped, kind of like down on its angle there,
Yeah, and Han and Boba are some of my favorite characters, too. I remember as a kid myself, I would dress up and do gender bender cosplay and stuff. So I would always dress up as Han Solo saving Princess Leia.
Oh yeah, he's got the coolest blaster. If you have 1 second, I just got it. It's just the coolest model of the blaster. I know you're very familiar with. I had to have that for my collection there.
Oh, I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's pretty awesome. I love all the Star Wars weapons there. So him being one of my favorites, it was kind of like a little homage to him to be able to purchase that.
Yeah, all I have pretty much is some action figures and lightsaber and a Darth Vader helmet and stuff. I had a pretty big collection as a kid, but when I was in early junior high school, we had a house fire, so I pretty much lost everything I had.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I know. I heard a story. One of my best friends, when I was a child, his mother was cleaning the garbage, and the Star Wars figures was in the trash bag, and she threw out the whole trash bag.
Oh no!
Yeah. So they were just telling me that story because we were obviously bringing up all the old Star Wars memories when we used to play together and play with the figures and spaceships and such. But yeah, unfortunately my mom did save them. I still have the original 70 or so figures. I think I'm missing maybe an Ewok, and somebody might have taken my Leia, but I want to try to get that back one time or another, just to have the whole complete 72 or 73 before that series in 85 came out there.
Yeah, I just started recollecting every single one I have, and I'm like keeping them in their boxes so I don't lose them.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's just the coolest thing. The figures, the shape of them, and then also the ships and the weapons. It's just the coolest thing that Lucas created, and now how awesome it is for Filoni and Favreau and so many other creators now, Kathleen Kennedy, to carry on that tradition.
Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely looking forward to see what the Star Wars franchise will bring in the future after the Skywalker trilogy.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we know Kenobi, and then they're going to do that spinoff with Cassian there. So
yeah,
I think
I'm
a lot
definitely
of
excited
there.
for those, especially to see Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan after 10 years.
Oh yeah, that's such a great storyline too. To where I don't know where they're going to go with it, but perhaps watching over Luke, I think that leads for a lot of good storylines there. So that'll be exciting. I definitely
read a Star Wars novel with him doing that, so maybe it'll be similar to that.
Oh, man, so excited. Awesome.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Hands down, it's Episode 5. For me, what makes Star Wars so special is about the relationships with family and also the mythology to believe in yourself. The teachings of Yoda, I think no matter what religion you're part of, you can sort of hold true to that in terms of believing in yourself and becoming one with the energy and the force of a positive light in life. I also came from a broken home, so the relationship between father and son was sort of strained. And to see that connection and the parallels to that story of Vader and Luke, to me, was resonated very firmly when I was a kid. So
I
Episode 5,
that too.
Yeah, and then also the time that I saw it, I was 6 years old, and to see Star Wars through the eyes of a child is probably the most magical thing. So I'm happy to be able to share that with my two sons now, because I feel like that's when you're the most innocent, and that's when it hits you the hardest there.
Yeah, I was about the same age when I got into Star Wars. I remember watching Empire for the first time on VHS. That was the first one I picked out, I think. And then, with that one being my favorite from the original trilogy, I have to say my favorite prequel was Revenge of the Sith. And that one, I just felt like really connected the universe from the original trilogy.
Yes.
And then, I don't know what the new movie for the sequels is going to be my favorite yet until I see Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I know. I heard it's going to be like 2.5 hours long, but I'm very
I can't believe it. I'm going to be dressing up as Rey at the movie.
Awesome. You got to send a picture. I'd love to see that. We already got our tickets there, so we're so excited.
Yeah, I got my tickets too. I work at a movie theater, so I kind of got them pretty much through that, and there's going to be a party beforehand.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome. I sent you out a little package today, too. I sent you some autographs there, so I hope you enjoy them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got a text notification that something was coming from California.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I get a lot of things from California, so it might be from you.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it might be a text, but I definitely sent it this morning, so definitely look out for it.
Okay, then it must be something else then, because something else I got a text yesterday when I was at work, so it must.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, all good.
Alright, you have been a guest star on so many well-known TV shows like NCIS, Superstore, Desperate Housewives, and you're about to be on 911. What is it like being a guest on those well-known shows?
It means a lot to me because the behind the scenes a lot of people don't see. I have been so proud to hold odd jobs. And the reason I say that is all your listeners, I want them to understand that whether you're waiting tables, you're working as a cashier, whether you're driving Uber, whether you are working for a moving company, to be very proud of what you do, because the reason is you're building for something bigger. So those guest stars to me represent that I never quit, I never gave up, I never fed into any kind of bullying of people who said maybe, you're not going to do it or you're not going to make it. So we now are looking at over 100 TV shows and films, and I hope to be an inspiration for so many of the working class men and women in our country and throughout the world in terms of being able to persist with your dream and at the same time hold your head high, because whatever odd job you're doing and you're moving towards another dream that you want to do, it's going to happen. But don't ever hold any shame for saying, oh, I just work here, I just work there.
Yeah.
Those little guest stars sometimes last 1 or 2 days. What I made a promise in terms of to my family is just in regards to the fact that I always hold down any job I can in order to keep it going. So those
really
guest stars
great.
to me are very special.
That's great to say, because I've been held back a lot of times too. I want to work for the Disney company, and I'm pretty much being held back. I go a bit further, and what you just said, I can use that as the inspiration to keep going and
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't ever give up. You keep staying persistent. It's not, rejection isn't necessarily any insult to you. It just means that they might be filled at that time. But you just have to stay persistent, as so many successful people have, and that's when good things start to happen.
I got 3 more questions. You had mentioned to me early on that you are a supporter for autism awareness. You're involved in a charity called Ought2Be-Fit.
Correct.
How did you become involved supporting autism awareness?
I was doing a photo shoot actually that supported the military called Boots On, and I met one of the heads whose son. She was a photographer at that location, for the photo shoot for the military. But her son had autism, and she invited me to partake in one of the charities. So what I like to do was I have a big baseball collection of different autograph balls, and I like to offer just a little autograph or two from either another celebrity or a baseball celebrity for their cause or their silent auction. So I got involved with her, and that was about 2-3 years ago. And every now and then we still keep in touch. There was also something that Jack Black started called Autism is Awesome. And I was able to attend to some of those charity events as well. But all my support for people of all different kinds of things that go on in their mind or their life, any way that I can help, I'm always here to be there as a supporter.
My last question, what other work would you like to do in your career and as an activist for autism?
Well, the great thing is I'm hoping that this bounty hunter takes off, because what I would love to do is to be able to donate autographs for the cause throughout, from time to time, starting next year, once hopefully people really take to my bounty hunter there, to where there is quite a bit of value to the autograph, and to be able to honor that for anyone who requested in regards to a charity.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the show, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. It was quite an honor.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely looking forward to the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And like I said, I appreciate all the listeners. It's a featured side character, and just to be, like I said, to be a fan and one of you guys and to be on screen, I appreciate everyone's support there 110%. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and good luck.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.